Welcome to Conversate, our podcast where we engage in conversation. And on this week's episode, I, Aaron, am sitting down with a longtime member of our congregation named Warren Weingarten. And we're just sharing life and sharing stories about God's hand in our lives. And so I look forward to introducing you to Warren, or for some of you who know him well, hopefully you get to hear how much his faith in Jesus means to him and the ways that God has been active throughout his 90 years of life. So as always, our goal is that you'll hear something in this conversation that will inspire you to start another conversation with somebody else. We hope you enjoy it. You want to give me can you reach that, Warren?
Oh, yeah.
You want to give me a cheers?
Cheers.
Hey, welcome to the brown couch.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Glad to be here.
Do you want me to scoot that closer so you can set it down?
That's close enough.
Close enough?
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Warren, you were just telling me that a long time ago you would wear headphones like this.
Yes. When I was just out of high school, I joined the Army.
Okay.
And my twin brother and I had been ham radio operators.
Ah.
In fact, I still have a license. Anyway, we joined the Army and went to Minneapolis and took all the tests, and we were pretty good in Morse code because we had studied it before.
So in ham radio, you use Morse code?
Oh, yeah. And in those days, you had to be able to copy and send 13 words a minute.
Really?
Which was a 5-letter group, was a word. And anyway, we had practiced. My mother had encouraged us, and we got a code copying machine, so we learned the Morse code, and that made us qualified for the Morse code program that they had. Actually, it was Army Security Agency where we learned to copy foreign and Morse code transmissions in order to supply intelligence to the NSA, the National Security Agency. And we were posted in Japan, Kyoto, Japan, for 3 years, 2.5 years actually.
What years would have that been?
Well, we enlisted in 1954 as after we had graduated from high school, and then actually a whole group from the high school went and enlisted, and a number of us ended up at the same base, and my twin brother and I were Morse code intercept operators, and we worked there for years, and for 2.5 years approximately. We had half a year of school before we went over.
Okay.
And
so was that was during Korea? Or
it was just after Korea.
Just after Korea.
And we were copying mostly Chinese and Russian traffic, and in some cases it was actually Russian spies that we were copying.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
By that point, I'm challenging my world history a little bit. Obviously, World War II ends as we bomb Japan. Mm-hmm. But by that point, are we allies with Japan?
Yes, Japan was already independent, but we had a large contingent of troops there, stationed there, and of course, Japan was the main supplier to Korea. And then when I got there, the Korean armistice was in effect yet. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Hey, we didn't even introduce you. We just started talking, but this is my friend Warren Weingarten, and that's not Pastor Kevin. But Warren, thanks for coming and sitting down today. And I just wanted to, you're in the top 5 of maybe with longest life, but also longest tenure here at St. Peter and Paul, if you consider kind of the length of time that you've been here. Don't you think?
Yes, I first came, of course, as a student.
Right.
And
was that 50?
1957.
57. Okay.
Yeah, that was after 3 years in the service, from 54 to 57, and the fall of 57. My twin brother and I and two other students from my hometown came.
Okay. And where was Wisconsin, right?
Right. My hometown was in Glenwood City, Wisconsin, and you may know the area a little bit, Pastor, because your friend TJ, isn't?
DJ. Yeah.
DJ
In Richmond.
New Richmond. That's
Yeah.
25 miles from my hometown.
Oh, okay.
And it's between, if you recall, if you've been to New Richmond, it's about 25 miles south and east of New Richmond, towards Menominee. If you took the road to Menominee, it'd be right there.
A little farming community.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. In fact, my twin brother and I used to milk the cow, one on each side.
Yeah, efficient. Your parents were happy to have twins.
We could fill that pail in a hurry. Yeah, we made our own butter and things like that. So I'm an old farm boy.
Yeah. All dairy, or was that?
It's a dairy, but we just had 7 acres. So it was my grandfather was into early, farming, and had honeybees, a big garden. We had to raise our own potatoes, all the vegetables, and he was a machinist and came from. He came from North Branch, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
You know where that is, of course.
Just stopped at a quick trip there the other day.
Did you?
Yep.
Well, my grandfather's family immigrated to the Weber area. Now, I talked to your dad about this. He'd been at that Weber church. Remember that picture I sent you a while back?
Yeah.
That Weber church. My mother's being held in there, and she was just a baby.
Yeah.
And my grandfather and my uncle are in that picture, and in front of the old Weber church there. And your dad said he had been there.
Oh my goodness! So that's your grandpa immigrated,
right? And his name was Kruger, and that's my mother's maiden name.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Germany?
Yeah, from Germany. Yeah,
okay.
They were from Germany, and my grandfather married someone from I think it was Waconia. Is that just north of that area?
Waconia is outside of the Twin Cities.
Yeah, it's
to the west, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, my grandmother, her maiden name was Lipke, and her brother was a pastor in the Missouri Synod. So we have some connections.
Yeah. Because did you grow up in a Missouri Synod Lutheran church? Yeah.
Yeah, my hometown was in Glenwood City, had a church, and it was active, and actually the pastor that we had when I was growing up was the son of John Webben, who came from this congregation.
Oh yeah.
So he was he conferred his son Harold Webben, who later served a long time in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Okay.
He confirmed my brother and I at that time, and we had close friends. One of Harold's brothers was our age, and so we used to go camping with them and things like that. So, yeah. So you and your twin brother Wayne, after high school, went to the service, Morse code, and then you both came to tech together. Right. We wanted to go into electrical engineering, and we thought about the University of Wisconsin, but my older brother was at the university, and he thought he met some people who had transferred from here.
Okay.
And then when we heard about it, we applied here, and we came up, and right away we were introduced to this church by Pastor Felcher.
Pastor Felcher.
Pastor Felcher was real active in the students. As you probably have heard, he was very early into student ministry.
Yeah.
And he was an interesting guy, and he
I think you're one of the few left who actually had quite a bit of interaction with him, I think.
I had quite a bit.
Because and if you're listening to this or watching the podcast and you come to worship at St. Peter and Paul, if you walk in the front doors to the left, there's a archive case with old pictures and things. In the top right corner of that, there's a big framed picture of a man, and that's Pastor Felcher.
Right.
So I think a lot of times people are like, I don't know who that guy is. Right. But he served here 40 years.
Right.
Which
I was here, and I visited him in the hospital when he was sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And at that time, Charlie Peterson was, you know the Peterson family, of course. Charlie was the chairman, and he knew that Pastor Felcher was ill. And he even mentioned, we know we're going to have to get a new pastor, and so it was kind of an interesting thing. But I happened to be in the room when Charlie came up, and
so Pastor Felcher died while serving as pastor here.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was here for the funeral, I believe. It was just as I was graduating, and I was already married at that time. But I remember my father-in-law was also in the hospital at that time. So
when you came in 1957, that was towards the tail end of his time?
I graduated in what was it, 1961, but then I stayed for my master's degree.
Okay.
And
so that was at the end of his 40 years, though. He had been here.
Right.
Because he came in the 1920s or something.
Right. And I know a little history there. He came from a friend's congregation in Mellon, Wisconsin.
Oh.
And their name, I'm trying to remember their names now. I can't, it's not important anyway, but our family friend said, yeah, well, you're going to Houghton. He said, you're going to meet Pastor Felcher.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, that was an introduction, and later on we met him. Actually, in those days, the pastors came to the student gatherings that we had, and if we had indicated a preference of churches, then we would be met by the pastor.
Okay.
So that's got involved, and then in those days they had the Gamma Delta.
That's what I was going to. I thought that was during your time. There was still and that was the fraternity, right? The Lutheran fraternity.
Actually, it wasn't a fraternity. It was just a group. A church group, I would call it, more than a fraternity. Later on, it became a fraternity.
Okay.
But at the time I was there, it was just like a church, like Walter League or something like that.
Oh,
okay, but a student.
Or kind of like we have Concordia Student Ministries.
Right.
Okay.
And so we'd have meetings in the basement of the old church.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So you studied electrical engineering?
Right.
That was your degree?
I graduated, and Joanne and I, my wife, and our first child, we moved to Albuquerque for 5 years.
Did you meet Joanne at Tech?
Yeah, I met her at Tech. She was the student health nurse, and I was punching tickets on the meal line, so I got to meet her. Yeah.
And then you found a reason to get sick and go visit her.
Right. Yeah. But that's how we met, and we moved for Albuquerque for 5 years, and had 2 more children in that time.
And what were you doing in Albuquerque?
Working on nuclear weapons.
Were you really?
Yeah. The division I was with was the initiator division. You need neutrons when your bomb goes off, so you needed a neutron generator to get the neutrons started, and that's what I worked on.
Oh.
So I learned a little nuclear physics there.
Okay. Now, tell me a little history here too, because we obviously we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and now. So you're in the 60s doing still nuclear bomb technology?
I went to Albuquerque, and we were developing the stockpile in those days, and so they were developing weapons, and my older brother happened to be there. And
that's the Cold War time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we were in the Cold War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody is stockpiling
Right.
nuclear weapons.
Actually, when you think about it, the Cold War really was started right with Korea, you might say, and then my time in the service, that was Cold War, and then transitioned to the weapons part of the Cold War rather than intelligence. So yeah.
Interesting. So was that? I mean, obviously there haven't been any nuclear warheads dropped in military conflicts since then, but they were testing them and blowing them up all over the oceans and things.
I spent a lot of time in Nevada at the testing site.
Okay, so you saw them actually be blown up?
Well, in those days we were doing them in tunnels, and I had experiments on the tests, so I would go out and inspect that my experiment was set up right and stuff like that. And an interesting aspect is flying out there one time, we must have had the chief pilot of TWA. In those days they called TWA, try waiting a while. But anyway, we would fly out there, and he flew us at about 3,000 feet, and he got over the Grand Canyon, and he tipped us, and take a look at this, he said. Wow. It was kind of an interesting flight.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Wow. And so how long, you said that you were in Albuquerque for 5 years?
And then I took a job in Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay.
And so we moved to the Sioux in, I think, 1967.
Okay.
And so I attended a church there. It was a Wisconsin Synod church because there was no Missouri Synod church there at that time. So I attended that church. In fact, I got involved a little bit. They asked me to do the books. And this guy isn't good at books. Somehow they
thought he seems like a smart guy. He can probably manage our money.
This was before they had all the computers to do it.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I got involved there, and I attended church regularly there. And
were you teaching there?
That's my first teaching job.
Yeah. At Lake Superior State.
Yes. And Joanne at that time also, her cousin happened to be in charge of a nursing program, so she got involved in, since she had a BS degree in nursing, the person that was running the program before quit on the weekend, and she had to take over. But she turned out to be quite a teacher too.
Nice.
And taught nursing both over there at Sioux as well as when we moved here in I think it was 1983 that we moved back here.
Okay. Yeah, and then you did your rest of your career teaching at Tech.
Tech, right.
Okay.
And she taught at SUMI at that time.
Okay. And did you teach electrical engineering?
Yeah, both electrical engineering, and it's interesting because the courses I had was electrical engineering for the non-believers, let's call it.
Okay.
Because they weren't taking electrical engineering. It might be civils or mechanicals. So I might have 100 students who didn't want to hear it.
But they had to have a little electrical.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that was part of it. Yeah, that was my job then. And of course, when I came back to the church that I was familiar with. Here, and Pastor Paul was the pastor at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, so you were an academic in many ways, at an engineering school doing the sciences, but also have always been a man of deep faith. Did you ever, in our modern or whatever age we're in now, there seems to be this competition between science and religion, as if those two things don't belong together. Mm-hmm. Was that debate always there in your time?
It was. Let me say, it bothered me at the time. Some of the things people were saying. One of the things that really stuck out to me and really came home one time was that Einstein was at that time might say, oops,
Okay.
might say that he was the, he was the science person who knew everything, or you might say. Well, his idea was, and he later said that it was wrong. His idea was that the universe had no beginning.
Okay.
It just was on, and he even modified his equations. He modified his equations to show that it never had a beginning. And then along came an astronomer, I think his name was Hubble, and he saw the redshift, which means that there's an expanding universe. Well, if you've got an expanding universe, it has to come back to a point. And what struck me about that is that science that they had wrong before came back to the beginning, just as it's in the Genesis.
Yeah.
And so that kind of spurred me on, every time we think that we know something about science or even how we interpret the Bible, you might say, I really feel that if there seems to be a conflict, we've got something wrong.
Yeah.
And I've studied a lot since that. Even though I was an electrical engineer, I remember being in Albuquerque at the time and hearing some of these debates about the DNA and things that they were just discovering at those times. And I thought, I wish they didn't have all these crazy terms in biology that you could understand it more at the nuclear level. And I didn't think too much about it and didn't do anything with it until after I was retired. I happened to pick up a book my son-in-law had. And this book was about DNA, and I read it and didn't make any sense to me. So I started studying it and so on. And I studied the DNA and things like that. And I've come to the conclusion from reading a lot of books. Some of the authors that I've read are. Have you heard of Stephen Meyer?
I have. Yeah. I've listened to him talk. Yeah.
Yeah, his books. I've read his books, and there's another fellow from Minneapolis actually.
Okay.
Rob Stabler. Have you heard of him? He's also actually he's a scientist who has a lot of. I think he has patents in some biological systems that he's developed, mainly I think in medical field. But he wrote a book, The Stairway to Life.
Okay.
And that's a good book too. And so I've read many of these books, and I really feel that there's a lot of misinformation in the public sphere about biology and in general about evolution. From what I've studied, I am of the opinion that there's microevolution, but no evolutionary consistency has been developed for the macro.
Right. Yeah, and all those kinds of things with the macroevolution would be something to the effect of like humans coming out of chimps or something, right? Like leaping species. And in the DNA or even in whatever evidence they have for any of that is quite lacking. There's huge gaps, are there not, right?
And no one's seen a jump, not even in the records. There's no jump in species,
right?
Recorded like in the strata, what do they call that now? That's a senior moment.
The fossil record.
The fossil record do not show the continuation. They can show some similarities,
right?
But they really jump between that,
right?
Yeah.
Well, a dog and a cow kind of look similar too. I don't know.
Right.
They have four legs,
but you can't you don't see any continuation
Right.
from a dog to a cow or
Right.
a horse or anything.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but on the micro evolutionary level, right? I mean, that's the things of like, what different hair colors or heights, or I mean, there's all kinds of things within species, or even I think the folks who have, I haven't been to the Ark encounter that was built.
I've heard about it. In fact,
I've heard.
Nathan Lottie was telling me he said.
Oh, they went, yeah.
Yeah.
But Marcus, who's our youth director here or on campus, they went on a trip there, and my dad's been, and they said that the animals that they show that would have been on the Ark, really they don't look like the animals that we see in the children's books, where there's a beautiful giraffe and all that stuff. Like they probably would have looked quite different because of these kinds of microevolutions and
Right.
crossbreeding and stuff that happens in time. And so I guess my thought always is, Christianity. It was Christian people, as far as I understand, that kind of gave birth to the rise of the sciences and the study of the natural world. And I think it is our Christian worldview that gives us a foundation on which to wonder, to be in awe of the mysteries, even to study them. But without a foundation on which to build, you don't have much of anything, And so I guess I always just come back to the fact whenever I talk to people in the sciences who are Christian people, and I've even met people who have kind of been in the sciences, converted to Christianity, and then kind of had their worldview shifted to see that if you're just studying for the sake of studying, or testing for the sake of testing, it's kind of an empty pursuit.
Yeah.
But if you begin with a faith in God, and any study drives you into a deeper appreciation for who God is and his
great power.
Yeah. I mean, so science can be an act of faith,
Right. Right.
drawing you closer to him.
And there's really no conflict.
Right.
Really no conflict. And if there seems to be a conflict, we've got something wrong. And my point is that generally we've got to remember that there's a beginning, and God made us, and that when we strive to understand it, we have limitations.
Yeah.
We have limitations, and we have to remember that in the end, those limitations are going to be less than the Lord's.
Yeah.
And I
which is better for us, because it keeps us in our right place, that we are not God.
Right.
And
right.
we can't play that role.
And that's one of the big things that we all, I think the first commandment, right?
Yeah.
Thou shalt not have any gods before you. And we tend to do it.
Yeah. Well, and we do it because that's the root of the very first sin, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was the temptation. You can be like God and know.
Right.
You can be like God and know.
Exactly.
Know more than you're supposed to know. Right. And so I think that's at the root of a lot of our sinful desires, is to be like God,
right,
and to know more than we should know
right.
as creatures,
Yeah.
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 So, you've got this life and career in the sciences, but you've always been a strong church man, and I think I've told you this, Warren, but I'll tell you again. In my 16 years of being a pastor, you've been such an incredible support and encourager of me, and I know not only me, but now Pastor Kevin and Marcus and Pastor Dave before that, and I just I've been so appreciative of the encouragement, and I don't know, there's also been many meetings or congregational meetings where you've kind of given a wise word that's been helpful, and so I just want you to know that that your encouragement of me has been that encouragement has been a blessing then to other people as I've been encouraged in the faith. So I just want to thank you for that. But I'm just curious where that strong foundation in the faith comes from.
Well, I think I look back at it, and part of it is that my mother was very strong, and my dad too, of course. They were both churchgoers. We went every Sunday.
Okay.
And we had our Sunday clothes.
Yeah.
In those days, you always dressed up for church on Sunday.
Can't go in your milking clothes.
No, that's right. You can't go barefoot either. Although that's probably not a bad idea when you think of it. I saw something just the other day when Moses was at the burning bush. He had to remove his shoes because he was on holy ground.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of seeing someone at the outdoor service barefoot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, that was interesting. But a lot of it goes back to my mother. I think in the sense that when we moved, when my grandfather's family moved to Glenwood City, where I grew up, my mother's decided, or my grandfather's and grandmother decided she would go back to Waconia, I believe it was, and be confirmed in the church in Waconia.
Okay.
And so she went there, and I believe she was confirmed by her uncle.
Okay.
And then she always had a soft spot for pastors. I think probably from the experience that her uncle was a pastor, and so she always pointed out, that pastors can't do anything right.
That's true. It's true.
But she always supported the pastors and always was friendly with them, and always served on. In those days we had lots of picnics and things like that. Yeah. And for our mission we used to have a mission fest.
Okay.
Remember? Did you have mission fest in your days? Probably not.
I can't remember.
This would have been in the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
We used to set up a place out in the little park that we had in our hometown. And so we'd set up the chairs there, and then we'd have a picnic afterwards, and maybe homemade ice cream.
Yeah, well, maybe we should do this again, Warren. It sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but that goes back to it, and it was a thing that the pastor's not an easy life at times when you're trying to satisfy many different viewpoints. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just hope that I have supported our leadership, and I just see lots of good things happening in our congregation, and part of it's being friendly and outgoing and reaching out, and the things like the living room. I'm hoping that's going well. Yeah,
it hasn't opened yet. We're waiting for concrete to cure. Pretty exciting stuff.
Okay. I've got to stop down there and see that.
Yeah, it's not open yet. We'll let you know when we get everything going. But yeah, you and your wife Joanne, she passed away. What was it? 3 years ago?
3.5 years ago, about. Yeah. And
you guys were blessed with 6 kids?
5.
5.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, 5 children, and we've got a lot of grandchildren now, and even great grandchildren.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and then in that time, I know you've, just recently, didn't you, in the last couple of years, Didn't you start a little Bible study with some of your grandkids online?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I realized that one of my grandsons, he was baptized and decided to get in the Bible, and I knew about that a little bit, and I just asked him when I was visiting him one day, let's get together every week. And so we take a phone call. I'm still doing it. We do it each take and discuss what we've been in the Bible. What are we doing? Generally, I do devotions quite a bit.
Yep.
Actually, I do 3 devotions daily. Morning devotion, which is the Lutheran Hour Ministry that comes out online. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. The Lutheran Hour speaker is a friend of mine.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Mike Ziegler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a classmate. We played intramural sports together.
Really?
Yeah. Really good guy.
Yeah, and I do that one, and then Amy and I do a devotion every night. Or every evening before we go to bed.
Oh, nice.
And then
and Amy's your daughter.
Yeah, and she's special needs, you know, and we really enjoy that, and I've in that case I like to keep it quite simple.
Yeah.
And just have a short and try to have a reading and try to understand that and just get the basics out. And
do you use a resource for that, or just kind of read something from the Bible?
Actually, she has been attending her mother's church.
Okay.
Because that's where she grew up going with her mother all the time, and so we use the little. It's a devotion that they use, and of course I don't find too much differences, but I'm careful with it in the sense that I like to make sure that theology is good, and so we discuss the readings, and then we do their devotion, or read their comment on that reading, and then we have quite a long prayer, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I try to use the Acts.
Oh, yeah.
Thing about how does that go now? Acclamation and confession and
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And supplication.
Supplication, yeah. So I try to follow that as an outline, and we try to do prayers for people that we know that are sick. We do prayer for those who are grieving over losses, and we usually name all of these in the prayer, and then we also pray for all the family members, including up to the cousins.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And I try to remember them, and so that's a thing. And then in the evening, I usually do the devotion that comes, Portals of Prayer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that keeps me daily in the Word.
Yeah.
And I try to stay into it and learn something every devotion, and it's a habit you can get into, and once you get into it, you miss it if you miss it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's the Word of God is like nutrition,
Yes.
in many ways. It's the food for our soul,
Yeah. And you don't always just get it in service. I mean, perhaps if you look back, if I look back in my life, it all started going to church regularly, and you heard the word there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you heard the word because it was there.
Right. Yeah.
And I miss getting to church every Sunday. I kind of dread the fact that I'm getting older, and sometimes I can't make it. But technology helps.
Yeah.
It does, because I can always get on the computer and hear the sermon, hear the word, and that's important to me.
Yeah. I know that's so important.
Yeah.
Well, Warren, I mean, we kind of covered the scope of your life. Was there anything else that we missed, or that you want that you want? Any other things you want to talk about?
Let's see. No, I would mention the cemetery we have at my wife's camp. The property that her dad had, of course, came back to my wife and her sister, and we still hold part of the property now, and it's a log cabin. Yeah. You may have seen the pictures of it, and she's buried out there. Yeah. And I intend to be buried next door.
Yeah.
And
there was a process that because you did it the legal way, right?
Yes, I did it legal. It was quite a process, but I always ran into the right people at the right time. Maybe the Lord was really leading me there, and I've got a nice cross I built that's by her grave, and every time we go out there, we go out and have a prayer, and Amy talks to her mother. But yeah, that's an aspect that I look forward to be.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking of a natural burial there.
Oh yeah.
And I told him in the bottom of the box I want sphagnum moss.
Oh yeah, just for a little cushion.
Yeah, for the cushion.
That's a good idea.
So.
And it looks nice.
Yeah, it smells nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're not technically allowed to just bury somebody on your own property, or
you're supposed. There's a law that you can have a private cemetery. There's actually a law dating back to 1874, I think, in Michigan, and there's been recently held that you can do it, but you have to get permits and have it surveyed and things like that. And it's a matter of going through the township.
Okay.
To do that, and I found some people who really went out of their way to help me out on that.
I suppose the government wants to have records of where people ended up, and
Oh yeah, that's one of the things. When you have a death certificate, you have to tell where they're going to be buried.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless they're cremated, I guess. Cremation, I don't think you need that, but
okay.
If it's buried. Anyway, we went through all those hoops.
Yeah, that's pretty special to have that there.
Yeah.
Are you only allowed a certain number of plots then, or?
Yeah, I think the way it is I set it up for a certain 50 by 100, I think it was, in feet.
Okay.
And I had to hire a surveyor to come out. But surveying nowadays is not the old way of sighting and so on. You walk around with an iPad.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That's the way they do it now.
I bet.
Yeah. So.
Well, Warren, this is it's been really special to have you do this and just share your story and your faith and the legacy that you've left in my life and this church and the lives of so many people, your family. I mean, 90 years of life. Like I hope that you can look back and see God's hand of grace and mercy along the way, and
I've certainly been blessed. I've been blessed in so many ways. I'm just so thankful for family and for the opportunity to know God's word, and that comes from the Holy Spirit. We don't really search it out; He gives it to us, right? And it's always been an important thing to me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, amen, and we'll just let's wrap this up here for now, Warren, and I'll cheers you one more time.
All right.
And thanks for sharing your story.
Well, I hope that it's a reasonable story.
It's great. It's great. Thanks, Warren.
Mm-hmm.